Ahoy there, listeners! Ready to embark on another deep dive? Today, we're setting our sights on the world of cruise ships and our trusty compass, the 2024 State of the Cruise Industry Report.
Fresh off the virtual presses from Cruise Lines International Association, we're diving deep into the trends shaping the future of cruising.
From sustainability efforts to, get this, the surprising demographics of today's cruiser.
It's more than just pretty pictures of ships, though. This report gives us a fascinating look at an industry that's not just bounced back from, well, but is actually thriving.
Thriving, you say. Give us the numbers.
Oh, they're impressive, all right. Get this. Passenger volume in 2023 reached 31.7 million. That's actually more than pre-pandemic levels.
More. You're saying people are itching to get back on the open seas.
Itching. They're booking like crazy. It's 107% of what we saw in 2019.
107%. While other parts of the tourism industry are, shall we say, finding their sea legs again, cruising seems to have, well, not just caught up, but actually sped ahead. What's fueling this, what did you call it, this surge in seafaring adventures?
Well, it seems like cruising is finally shedding its, that old image and attracting a whole new generation of traveler.
A new generation. Do tell.
The report shows, get this, that millennials are the most enthusiastic about cruise holidays.
Millennials. Really? Now that's fascinating. I always thought they were all about backpacking in hostels and finding themselves on a shoestring budget.
Right. You'd think so, wouldn't you? But it seems like cruising is tapping into something those other travel styles aren't. Or maybe, like you said, priorities change.
So what's the secret sauce here? What's drawing them in?
Well, the report points to a few things. One is convenience. Millennials, they're used to, busy lives, right? Always on the go. And cruising lets them unpack once and wake up to a new view every morning. No messing about with flights and hotels and all that jazz.
That tracks. Efficiency is the name of the game these days. It's like the all-inclusive resort model, but instead of being stuck in one place, you get to see multiple destinations.
Exactly. And speaking of things millennials are keen on, the report also highlighted the value for money aspect.
Okay, that's interesting. Millennials and value for money. Break it down for us.
When you think about it, cruises can be surprisingly affordable. You're basically bundling all your expenses together, meals, accommodation, entertainment, and it often works out cheaper than trying to cobble together a similar trip independently.
So convenience, value for money. But it can't just be about practicality. There's got to be something more, right? What about the experience itself?
Oh, absolutely. The report also mentioned a surge in something called expedition and exploration cruises. Think less, lounging by the pool, and more, polar bears.
Polar bears. Okay, now you got my attention. Tell me more.
It's all about, getting off the beaten track, exploring remote destinations, encountering wildlife, experiencing cultures in a more, in a more authentic way. It's a different pace and style of cruising that seems to be resonating with a growing segment of travelers.
It's like the difference between, I don't know, flipping through a travel magazine and actually diving into the pages of National Geographic. But hold on, these off-the-beaten-path adventures, they must come with their own set of challenges, right? Both logistically and, ethically.
That's a really important point, and it's something the industry is increasingly aware of. The report highlighted a growing focus on responsible and sustainable tourism, especially when it comes to these more adventurous itineraries.
That's good to hear. But let's be honest, massive ships, they don't exactly scream eco-friendly, do they?
You're not wrong. It's a valid concern and one the industry is taking seriously. One of the things that really struck me in the report was the commitment to sustainability. They've set a goal of net zero emissions by 2050.
Now that's a headline-grabbing goal. But how on earth do they plan to achieve that? It's not like you can just plug a cruise ship into a giant solar panel.
Right. It's a huge challenge, but the report outlines a few key strategies. One is investing heavily in new technologies and infrastructure. Think fuel-flexible engines that can use things like biofuels and LNG.
Okay, for those of us who don't speak maritime engineering, could you break those down for us? What are the benefits of those fuels and why are they important in this context?
Of course. So biofuels. They come from renewable sources like plants and algae. So compared to traditional marine fuels, they have a much smaller carbon footprint. And LNG, or a liquefied natural gas, it's another, it burns cleaner than some other options, so it releases fewer pollutants.
Got it. So it's about reducing reliance on fossil fuels and moving towards cleaner alternatives. What other technological innovations are they exploring?
Well, one that's already being implemented is shoreside electricity. Basically, it means ships can plug into the local grid when they're in port instead of running their engines all night.
Makes sense. Quieter for the port, better for the environment. Everyone wins. Anything else?
Let me see. Oh, yes. They're also using advanced wastewater treatment systems. These go above and beyond the basic requirements, to really minimize their impact on marine ecosystems.
So it's not just about the fuel they use, but also about what they put back into the water. That's great to hear. What else?
Well, they're also looking at things like air lubrication, which is about reducing friction as the ship moves through the water, and special hull coatings that do the same thing.
So streamlining from every angle, basically.
Yeah.
It sounds like they're putting their money where their mouth is, not just talking about sustainability, but actually investing in real solutions. But are these technologies actually being used, or are they still just, pie in the sky ideas?
No, they're happening. The report says there are 24 ships already trialing biofuels. And get this, 10 are either using or testing fuel cells, which convert fuel directly into electricity, so even fewer emissions.
Wow. It sounds like the industry is serious about shrinking its environmental footprint. That's a refreshing change, wouldn't you say?
Definitely. But it's not just about the ships themselves, right? We have to talk about the economic impact of this massive industry. It's not just about what happens on board. It's about the ripple effects.
The communities, economies, exactly. We're not just talking about a few tech hands here. Cruising's economic impact, it's huge. It reaches far beyond those dazzling onboard casinos and swimming pools.
Well, all right, you've got my attention. Lay it on me.
Remember that $138 billion figure we talked about?
The global impact, right?
That's the one. And that was just from 2022.
Wow. That's what, more than some countries' entire economies?
It's up there. And it's supporting, get this, 1.2 million jobs worldwide.
Okay, so we're talking serious business here. But how does that actually work? Where are all these jobs? It's not all just people working on the ships, right?
You're right. Here's the kicker. 75% of those jobs, they're onshore.
Onshore. So what, like travel agents and stuff? Some of that, sure. But it's way more than that. We're talking transportation, hospitality, retail, all those things tourists need. And most of it's happening in port cities, the places those ships actually visit.
Ah, so every time a ship docks, it's like this big economic boost for that city.
Exactly. Local restaurants, tour operators, souvenir shops, even transportation, they all get a piece of the pie.
It's a win-win, right? The cruise lines get to offer amazing destinations, and those destinations benefit economically from the tourists.
Plus, let's not forget about the money those ports get from fees and taxes. That often goes right back into the community. Infrastructure projects, schools, hospitals, all sorts of things.
Like this perfect circle. Responsible tourism that benefits everyone involved.
Yep.
But enough about the present. Let's talk about the future. What's next for cruising?
Well, buckle up. The report says the industry is showing absolutely no signs of slowing down.
Really? How so?
New ships, they've got a ton of them on order.
Like how many are we talking?
A handful. Try 56. And those are just the ones scheduled to set sail by 2028. We're talking about a $39.8 billion investment.
56 new ships. That's incredible. But what kind of ships are we talking about here? Is bigger always better? Are we entering the era of the mega ship?
It's funny you should say that. It's actually a mix. The report highlights a pretty good balance between the big guys and, well, the smaller, more, I guess you could say, boutique vessels.
Boutique cruises, huh?
Yeah.
I like the sound of that. But I got to ask, what about these mega ships? I'm talking about the ones that are basically floating cities.
Oh, they're out there. In fact, Royal Caribbean International's Utopia of the Seas, it's going to have a capacity of 5,714 passengers.
5,714. That's more people than my entire hometown. I can't even imagine. What do you even do with that many people on one ship?
Right. It's mind-boggling, isn't it? It's like they create a destination within a destination. They have to. You've got to have something for everyone. Expansive outdoor areas, multiple pools, tons of dining options, you name it.
It's like a floating city, like you said. But even with all that space, I imagine it takes some serious planning and technology to manage that many people and make sure everyone has a good time riding.
Absolutely. And the cruise lines. They're on top of it. We're seeing some really cool advancements in onboard technology.
Like what? Give me the highlights.
Think contactless check-in, onboard payments, even personalized recommendations for things like dining and entertainment.
So cruising is getting a high-tech makeover. Who knew? But it makes sense, right? Use technology to personalize the experience, make things run smoothly.
Exactly. It's about enhancing the whole experience for everyone, making it more convenient, more personalized, and giving passengers the information they need to really make the most of their trip.
Yeah, that's what I call smooth sailing. Speaking of enhancing the experience, were there any other notable trends or innovations that stood out to you? Anything particularly exciting on the horizon?
Oh, there's always something new in the world of cruising. One trend that's still going strong is the whole private island thing.
Private islands. Okay, now you're just showing off.
They're becoming increasingly popular. Several new ones are actually set to open in the next few years, too.
So we're not just talking about your average beach with a few palm trees. These are exclusive experiences, right?
Exactly. Pristine beaches, unique cultural experiences, thrilling activities, you name it. And all without the crowds.
Now that's what I call a vacation. But it does make you wonder, doesn't it? Is this trend towards exclusivity just about offering a more premium experience? Or is it also a response to concerns about over-tourism in some of these popular destinations?
That's a really good question. And honestly, it's probably a bit of both. Private islands give the cruise lines more control, right? They can
Yeah.
manage the number of visitors, curate the experiences, and really protect the environment.
It's like finding that sweet spot between offering something truly special while making sure it stays special for years to come.
Yeah.
But we've gotten a bit off course here. We were talking about the economic impact of cruising.
Right.
You are. We've been charting a course through, well, the whole wide world of the cruise industry, haven't we? From its impressive comeback and, of course, that big commitment to sustainability, to the mind-blowing technology. And what was it you called them? Ah, yes, the mega ships.
Mega ships. They're hard to forget. But you're right, we can't lose sight of the big picture here. Those economic waves this industry creates, they're making a splash far beyond the ships themselves.
It's easy to get swept away by the glamour of it all, the private islands, the high-tech this and that. But at the end of the day, we're talking about a serious economic engine here.
You said it. And those economic benefits, they're not just staying afloat on the high seas, if you know what I mean.
All right, enough with the puns.
Yeah.
But you're right. Last time we left off, we were talking about that $138 billion global impact, supporting, what was it, 1.2 million jobs worldwide?
And those were just the 2022 figures. Imagine what those numbers look like now.
It's mind-boggling. But let's zoom in a little. Where are all these jobs exactly? Paint us a picture.
So picture this. 75%, a whopping 3/4 of those jobs are land-based. We're talking transportation, logistics, hospitality, retail, the list goes on. And it's all happening in those port cities, those vibrant hubs where the ships dock.
Ah, so it's like each cruise ship arrival is like this big, economic party that rolls into town.
Exactly. Think about it. Local restaurants bustling with hungry travelers, tour operators showcasing the hidden gems, souvenir shops bursting with trinkets, even taxi drivers. They're all part of this intricate economic ecosystem that thrives on tourism. And let's not forget about the revenue generated from things like port fees and taxes.
Right. Those dollars go right back into the community, don't they?
Absolutely. Funding vital infrastructure projects, supporting schools and hospitals, even boosting local businesses. It's a win-win for everyone involved.
It really highlights how, when done right, tourism can be this incredible force for good. Not just about, ticking off destinations on a bucket list, but about creating these meaningful connections and contributing to the well-being of communities around the world.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It's about fostering sustainable and responsible growth, ensuring that the benefits of tourism are shared far and wide.
It sounds like the cruise industry is on course for a brighter future, wouldn't you say?
Setting sail in the right direction.
Well, as we prepare to disembark from this deep dive, any final thoughts you'd like to leave our listeners with? Something to ponder as they navigate their day, perhaps with a steaming cup of coffee in hand.
I think the key takeaway here is that cruising is changing. It's shedding that old-fashioned image and embracing innovation, sustainability, and a more inclusive and, let's face it, exciting future. Who knows what new adventures await on the horizon?
That's the spirit. The world is a vast and wondrous place, and it seems like the cruise industry is ready to explore it responsibly and sustainably, of course. Thanks for joining us on this journey. Until next time, happy travels, everyone.
Thank you for joining us on this journey through the future of travel. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more insights and updates. Visit Tourism, Capturing the Scene of Knowledge, a comprehensive website delivering the latest travel trends and innovations. Accelerate your mastery of the tourism industry, all in one place. Navigate through a vast showcase of comprehensive business-oriented tourism content, 99% pure industry intelligence, and 1% academic, curated for discerning professionals. Why subscribe to Tourism? Capturing the Scene of Knowledge. Make informed decisions. Instantly access key reports and insights from top sources across the tourism industry. No research required. All in one place. Why split your attention? A single subscription gives you easy access to thousands of reports, videos, and infographics just as effortlessly as watching a 30-second ad. Save time with curated searches. Time is money. Let our subscription save you both by delivering valuable insights directly without the endless search. Until next time, happy travels.